Political parties and independent candidates intending to contest the 2021 local government elections have less than a week to submit their candidate lists. The Independent Electoral Commission says for now 25 political parties and 50 independent candidates have submitted their lists and details. And joining me now is IEC Chief Electoral Officer Sy Mamabolo. Ms. Mamabolo, good morning to you. Let's talk about an update. Have you received more lists?
The record that you just read is as true to yesterday afternoon, but there's a lot of activity in our local offices as well as online. We will be checking in the evening what progress has been made since yesterday's report.
You talk about activity. Talk to us then about what kind of activity is taking place in those offices currently.
Well, it is political parties submitting their list of candidates, ensuring that people are on the right segment of the voters' roll, submitting their election deposits, paying them through the banks, ensuring that candidates have signed the acceptance of nomination. So that's on the manual side. But you'll remember that the nomination processes also can be done online. There are those that are capturing online, and they are busy. As soon as the day comes on the 23rd, they'll be able to make the final submission. But we can detect that there's activity online where parties are capturing their candidates.
And how much time then before those submitting the lists know that maybe there's something wrong that might need to be corrected in maybe like issues of non-compliance or so?
Well, first of all, the major requirement is that the candidate must be registered on the voters' roll and be registered in the municipality in which they intend to contest. Now, as soon as you capture that candidate, the system instantaneously gives you feedback with regard to that. So you will get instantaneous feedback that either this person is not on the voters' roll and therefore not entitled to be a candidate, or this person is on the voters' roll but in a different municipality. So that feedback, insofar as the online system is concerned, is instantaneous.
So then that would be... Oh, sorry, continue, apologies.
Yes, and the other issue that we just need to be categorical about is that the prescribed deposits have to be paid on Monday the 23rd or by Monday the 23rd. There is no opportunity to correct that non-compliance. So parties, independent candidates, everybody intending to contest must have paid their election deposits by Monday. There is no opportunity to correct that non-compliance.
So if you haven't paid the deposit, you cannot continue with the process?
Certainly. Deposits are important. They are not intended to be a bar to people participating. They just are intended to ensure that there is no frivolity in the electoral contest. And should the electoral contestants, be they parties or independent candidates, get at least a seat or 10% of the vote, the money is returned to them. So these are not fees. They are deposits which will be returned to those who have at least that level of support.
And let's talk about that process you were telling us about how, if maybe one is not on the voters' roll and they've put them down on the list or others are appearing in a different municipality, does it then in that moment give room for the political party to then be able to make the correct, corrections there? Or does it mean then that that person who may not have been on the list or on the voters' roll or appears in a different municipality, that simply means that that name cannot come back again and they must give you a different one?
Certainly. If you want to contest in Tshwane and you happen to be registered in eThekwini, you can't change your registration details at the moment. And the reason you can't change your registration details at the moment is because the proclamation of the election date has the effect of closing the voters' roll. So the voters' roll for purposes of the elections of the 27th has closed, and it means that we have to use the voters' roll as is. So if you are a candidate in Tshwane but registered in eThekwini, you can't be a candidate in Tshwane. You have to be a candidate in eThekwini, assuming that you've received the nomination in eThekwini. So there is no opportunity to change one's registration status at the moment.
And when we then look after the deadline of the 23rd, how much time then can parties be allowed to bring to you the revised lists?
Well, the 23rd is really the deadline. The only other opportunity available to parties is if there are issues of non-compliance related to the signing of the acceptance of nomination, as well as if there are people on multiple lists. We do have situations which I refer to as aberrations, where you find a candidate, it's on a list of Party A as well as on Party B. In that instance, we will notify the candidate as well as the respective parties that this candidate is on Party A and Party B, and we'll give those parties an opportunity to either decide whether to retain that candidate or to replace that candidate. That will happen at the beginning of September.
What happens if the elections are indeed postponed and the courts rule in that manner? Can this deadline then be readjusted, or even if there is a postponement, this will be the final list?
Well, this cut-off date is related to an election on the 27th of October. In the event we are successful with the relief we seek in the Constitutional Court, then a new timetable has to be discussed with political parties and agreed. And there will be a new deadline for a cut-off date for candidate nomination in respect of the new changed situation. So there will be an opportunity only if we are successful with our court application.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. That was the Chief Electoral Officer, Sy Mamabolo. We appreciate your time there, sir.